Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that throughout the year? Obviously, you're not feeling the expectation of Nebraska and the fan base and everything else, and falling short of like being bowl eligible, especially when you had a couple games there at the end to do just that.
Yeah, man, we were 5-3. It's 5-3 to finish 5-7, and it's like anything else, man. It's a double-edged sword, right? My heart really hurt for the older guys, right? Like they had been through so much, and some of them came back just to help us get to be bowl eligible, to be the team that brought us back. I mean, I'd walk downtown and students would say, "Coach, I came back for another year because I want to go to a bowl game." Like, so I felt that, not for me, not expectation, even just how much the players have put into it, and to lose 20-17, and then to lose 13-10, and then to lose in overtime, and then to lose 13-10 on the last play, 2 walk-off field goals. My heart hurt for those guys because I really, really, really appreciated those guys. With that being said, sometimes you can go 6-6, you can go to a bowl game, and go play in a nice bowl game, beat a team you should beat, finish 7-6. Everybody's walking around smiling. Like we have like an intensity about us. We have an urgency about us that we might not have had we gone and gotten the PlayStation from the bowl game, and a nice little jogging suit. So I think there's some positives, but we didn't get it done.
That shows, though, you can tell because y'all going 5-7 and still being one of the top, having one of the top recruiting classes. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think as you see this place, like, and again, facilities don't. What do facilities do? They tell you that football is important here. Our fan base tells people that football is important here, and so we work our tails off. We work hard in recruiting, and just to get people here. Because I think once you get here and like you walk around Lincoln, you go downtown, you see the campus, you're like, oh snap, like this is a really, really cool place. And so, the highlights came on.
They just turned on the highlights.
Yeah,
That's why we kind of
But-
you see me covering.
But you know what? But honestly, like, I think the big thing is all along players could see like, hey, my history at Temple, being 2-10, then being 6-6, and then back-to-back, top 25 teams, back-to-back conference champions, top 25 at different times of the year. Going to Baylor, being 1-11, then being 7-6, then playing in the Sugar Bowl. I think people realize, hey, this is like a coach will try to build it the right way. So to be 5-7, maybe outperform. So I think a lot of the young players were like, all right, I see it. I see what they're trying to do. I see how they're doing it. And I think we're going to continue to recruit well.
What do you feel like you've learned the first year coaching, being the head coach of the University of Nebraska?
That, when I took this job, I was very uncertain. I was very like, you just get fired, you're a little scarred, and I don't really know. I'm a Northeast guy. I was very uncertain, like, not in a bad way, just like and my wife was like, that's the job. That's the job. Go to Nebraska. That's the job. Go to Nebraska. So like 2 weeks in, because I was living downtown, my family, my kids were finishing school. I called her. I was like, as usual, you were right. Like, this is a great place. Like, I didn't know how good the people were. I didn't know. I mean, this is a place, and this, but this is a place where like 60 minutes before the game, everybody's in the stands watching warm-ups. Like they love the players so much that they want to watch even the guys who aren't going to play. They want to watch them warm up. This is a place that like after the game, win or lose, is going to stand up and cheer for you and probably cheer for the opponent. So it's football done right. And I love the game of football, and this is a place that loves football. So it's like the perfect match for me. Perfect match for my family, and I think that we can be what we're expecting to be.
So you think that's what made your decision easier to leave the NFL and then come back to Nebraska?
Well, they made the decision for me when they told me to get my ass.
That sounds
your key
also.
Your key card will not be working anymore. No, but in all seriousness, I had a chance to go be an assistant coach in the NFL at the New York Giants and had an amazing experience. Working with the O-line, the guys like Chris Snead, Dave Deal, David Boss, like all these great dudes. And I was a young assistant coach. Being a head coach in the NFL probably wasn't really for me. Like, I love players, and you're caught there sometimes in like you're the guy cutting guys. You're the guy, and some guys probably can do it way better than me. Some guys, maybe like a Vrabel or someone who's played. I struggled with coaching you, and then cutting you. I struggle with my family not being a part of it. Like last night, if you'd have been here, the whole team, we have dinner in the Hawks indoor. players, I tell them to invite their families, invite their girlfriends, coaches, invite everybody. My daughters are walking around. My wife knows not just our players, their girlfriends, their families. Like, it's college, and it's just a little bit more how I'm wired. It's a little bit more relationship built. So, when Carolina didn't work out, it was like, you know what? Hey, I took a shot at this. It was a great experience, but I really love college football, and this is a place that I believe does college football right. We're not using players. We're not bringing them in if they're not good enough, throwing them out. This is a place that really wants to develop guys, and so that kind of matches who I am.
So did you always feel like you was going to be a coach? I know playing linebacker at Penn State and then being a GA at Penn State right after. Did you feel like this was your calling to be a coach, be around young men, developing them, and giving them the opportunity to be players in the NFL?
Yeah. From the time I was like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, I wanted to be a college football coach. My wife sometimes, she'll say to me like, "Man, you're so lucky. Like you've known what you want to do your whole life." My dad's a minister, and he's also a high school teacher and coach. My uncle's in the Pennsylvania High School Coaches Hall of Fame. Like, my whole life, I always wanted to coach college football. I never wanted to coach high school. Never really wanted to coach the pros. I wanted to be a college football coach. And being at Penn State, being around Joe Paterno, I wanted to do that. And so, being here now, through the journey of Temple to Baylor to Carolina to here, being at a place that when I walk in every day, I walk by 5 national championship trophies. That's something when I was 8 years old I couldn't have even comprehended.
Talk about the spring league that you've introduced this year. It's been a talk of a couple of my group chats.
Really?
Yeah.
Positive, negative?
Positive.
Okay, yeah.
A couple like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But dudes talking like, it's something that changes it up during the springtime.
Yeah, you know how spring can be, man.
Yeah.
I tell you what it is. I was sitting there one day and I kept thinking about, the history of Nebraska. Tom Miles born, multiple drills going on, multiple fields going on. So we've always tried to do that. In basketball, like, you can go play summer league, right? You can go play AAU when you're not in season. Baseball, you can go play wooden bat league. In football, you basically just lift. So how do you get better at football other than playing football? And so, we have 3 quarterbacks. We have Heinrich, who won the starting job halfway through the year. Unbelievable young man, going to get better and better and better. We have Danny Kalen, Elite 11 quarterback, 45 minutes down the road. Dylan Raiola, just, one of the top recruits in the country. So we have 3 guys that want to be the quarterback. And I started thinking about like reps and was like, man, we have enough O-linemen. We have enough of this. We have enough of that. What if we just divided the team up into thirds and we just played football? Because, when I was growing up, when you guys were growing up, like, yeah, we had video games, but like you guys probably had phones. I didn't, but like we still went out and played a lot. A lot of my guys, like they didn't really grow up playing. Maybe, they might have played a little basketball. They played a lot of football. And so let's play. Let's put the ball down. Let's have officials. Let's just play the game and not just do drills. And so that, with a creative staff, turned into the Bug Eaters, turned into the Rattlesnake Boys, turned into the Old Gold Knights, taking the old team names, and like it's crazy. Like, you're trying to tell your guys to be leaders, and guys are like, nah, I try to keep to myself. And then all of a sudden I name someone a GM. Hey, you're the GM of this team, and that team doesn't perform. He's like, hey, you're getting cut tomorrow, bro. Like, hey, if you don't know your stuff, like all of a sudden you see that this level of competitiveness come out in our guys. So it's been unbelievably fun.
And we heard like you involved the injured guys as being the GMs to keep everybody interacted with the team. And, and I think that's great, to do something like that, because let alone sometimes when you injured, it almost feel like the coaches never talk to you. You're not involved. I think that goes a long way too.